Hi, this video is going to be about what a cult member says to you when they want you to join their group versus what they would say to you if they were being honest and they told you everything you were about to get into, right? I'm going to use my cult because that's the one I know the best, right? So I was a Jehovah's Witness. And as you may be very familiar, they will come knocking at your door and talk to you, invite you to the Kingdom Hall, to some special event, offer you some literature. And these days they do a lot of, sitting out on a sidewalk or in a park with a stand full of literature that you can take. So they come to your door and, they give a knock and you come and I say, hi, I'm Stacy, and this is my friend so-and-so. We're Jehovah's Witnesses. And did you notice that event on the news yesterday? It was terrible. Wasn't it? Just broke my heart, And did you know that God prophesied during the end times that these things would happen? And that what he has planned, and let me show you that scripture, by the way. Show you scripture. And what he has planned as a solution to these terrible things in the world is he's going to bring in Armageddon and then usher in a paradise earth. Matter of fact, this brochure, pamphlet, book explains all about that. I'd like to leave it here with you if you'd like to read it. Great. Could I come back and see you again, maybe in a couple of weeks when you've had a chance to look at it, and you can ask me any questions you have? Okay, great. So you leave, you come back. Now you talk to them a little bit more about the book, a few little doctrinal points, see if they have any questions. If they, either at that point or maybe a couple visits more, then you ask them, would you like to study the Bible? We'll take this book that I gave you and we'll go through it chapter by chapter, and it'll explain the truth of the Bible. And if you say yes, then you might get invited to come to the Kingdom Hall at some point. And this will go on. This will go on for months. It can even go on for years. But eventually you'll get invited to the Kingdom Hall. You'll go, and everyone will be so nice and so happy to see you. And everyone looks so clean cut and a little dressed up. I mean, quite frankly, they all look like they're going to court. But other than that, they'll be nice and then they'll be so friendly and so glad you're there. And they are actually, pretty nice people. So, and the next thing you know, you're going to more of the meetings, and the Bible study ends, and then they ask you to get baptized. That's your little ritual, little symbol, little ceremony to show that you've dedicated your life to Jehovah. Okay. After you're baptized, and only after you're baptized, does all the real truth come out. Yeah, there's some doctrinal things that they'll tell you before then, but there'll be no pressure until you're baptized. Now, if they were fully honest with you, they would say all the things I just said, and they'd add this. Oh, yeah. And by the way, gotta give up all the holidays. Yeah. Yeah. No. Christmas, Easter. Yep. They're pagan. They actually have pagan origins. We don't mix pagan with the truth. Okay, but no, not the national ones either. No. So like July 4th, no. Yeah, because we don't get involved in politics. Yeah, and you gotta stop voting too. Yeah, no voting. We don't get involved in any politics. We're just for the kingdom of heaven, not governments. Correct. And oh, did I mention birthdays? Yeah, no more. No birthday. Because did you know that when you blow on the candles, do you know what that means? You're like trying to scare demons away. It's like pagan. Okay, so no birthdays, no holidays. Threw in there, no voting. Yeah, got that one. Okay. Oh, and your husband, the cop, he carries a gun at work. Yeah, he's gonna have to stop that. Yeah, no more. Can't carry a gun. I mean, you can have one for hunting if you have to, but other than that, that's like, no, you can't. You know what? Ask them to get switched over to being a dispatcher, because you could do that as long as they don't have to carry a gun. Yeah. That's right. Oh, it's been his career for a long time and he's going to have a pension. Well, like I said, maybe there's a position in admin or in the office or something where he doesn't actually have to carry a gun, because that's just, he can't. Yeah, exactly. And medically, yeah, you can't have a blood transfusion. If your life depends on it, no. Say again? If your child's life depends on it, no. So here's what might happen. Could actually no family that this happened to. Okay, so here's the example of what you need to do if your child's life is in danger, and the doctors are insisting that the child has a blood transfusion. Okay, you say no, and you can explain to them. You can show them. Look at right here in Acts blah 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 chapter. It says you cannot eat blood. And hey, what's the difference between swallowing it and sticking it in your veins? It's the same thing. You can't eat blood. You can't have a blood transfusion. You can show the doctor, and then if they say your child's life is at risk, and I am going to give them a blood transfusion. What the doctor then do was he'll go to the court and he'll get a court order that will temporarily take away your parental rights, and then he'll force the blood transfusion on your child, which of course would displease Jehovah. So what you do is you take all the equipment off of your child and you take them up and you whisk them away out of that hospital, and you try to find another hospital that will treat them without a blood transfusion, because you do want to get them treatment, but just no blood transfusion. Okay. You mean, what if the next hospital does the same thing? Roll it all over again. Same thing. Take the kid, get to another place, see if they'll do it without the blood transfusion. Yeah. Yeah. What happened to the child that I know that happened, that the parents did that? He was 8. Yeah, and he died. Yeah, but he's going to be resurrected into the paradise earth, so it's all good. So it's all, yeah. And, oh, yeah, you know how I met you? You know, I came to your house. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, at least 10 hours a month. I mean, there's no real requirement on the hours, but let's face it, if you love Jehovah and you're putting his kingdom first, you know, and all of these people out there, everybody who's not a Jehovah's Witness is going to die at Armageddon. So we need to save as many as possible. So really, I mean, what's 10 hours? That's nothing really. She'd want to do more, you know. And it doesn't, that whole trying to, you know, tell people the good news of the kingdom when we go door to door, that's not just for strangers. Yeah, you're going to have to try to recruit all your friends and family too. And then if they don't want to join, you're going to have to alienate them a little bit. You're going to have to push them away, because they're worldly people. They cannot be trusted, and they're all immoral. So, and you don't want to be around that, because that's going to affect you. So you're just going to have to, family and friends, just going to have to go their own way. But you've got us. You've got us. That's right. But one thing, yeah, you only have us as long as you always agree with us. I'm not kidding. I mean, obviously you already know all the moral rules. Like if, you know, you commit adultery, or, you know, you take drugs, or you steal something, you know, obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to be in with Jehovah's clean people. You're going to get what we call disfellowship. This is kind of like excommunication. Maybe that's a word you're more familiar with, but we call it disfellowshipping. It's a kindness. Right? It's causing the person to realize the wrong that they've done and hopefully turn around and come back to the brotherhood, because we are the only people on the planet that have true love amongst ourselves. I'm sorry, say that again? What if you don't do anything immoral, but you just don't agree with one of the doctrines? Yeah, you can get disfellowship for that too. So, yeah. Yeah, well, yes. I mean, yes. You'll have basically pushed away all your family and all your friends, and your only friends will be Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you don't always agree with us, then yeah, and when you get disfellowship, then yeah, you won't have any friends. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. And that whole disfellowshipping thing, by the way, Not only can you get disfellowship for obvious things like immoral behavior or, not doctrinally agreeing with us, but the elders have this book that has all the rules of disfellowshipping in it that none of us actually know about and are not allowed to read, and we don't know what the rules are. So, like, a long time ago, I got disfellowshipped, and I was disfellowshipped about 3 months. It was so horrible. I tried to commit suicide. And when one elder came to see me, I begged him to reinstate me, let me be back in the congregation, and he said no. And when I went home, finally one friend who used to be an elder told my husband, because he wasn't allowed to talk to me, told my husband that the rule in the elder book was that I have to be disfellowshipped at least 6 months. And none of us non-elders knew that. So, yeah. And those rules are subject to change. And well, since I don't know what they are in the first place, I don't know if there are going to be any changes, and neither will you. So, yeah. So that's everything. Yeah. Want to go to the Kingdom Hall? All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope that was at least entertaining, if not educational. Okay. Thanks. Bye.